Hello, how are you doing? This is Victoria and Payam coming with our presentation on the privacy paradox, balancing convenience and privacy in the digital age. So our biometrics. Privacy continues to shrink as technology advances. Biometric advances such as fingerprinting, facial recognition, hand geometry, and retinal scanning have made shopping, breathing through airport security, and entering workplaces much easier. But at what cost? Places like Amazon now do hand scanning, and a lot of places, um, even on your phone or wherever you go, they allow you to use your fingerprint now for faster access. But how much of that information are they really keeping just for the sake of access, and how much of that data is going out to other sources? So now there's a profile of you out there that you have less control over and you have less. Another worry is consumer data collection. In biometrics, we found out that in today's society, the use of smartphones is almost a part of daily life as a whole. Most consumers use their phone for calls, texting, checking emails, getting directions via GPS, and the internet. And with the internet now, how big social media is, and being a part of that, you don't know how much those social media companies are keeping data about you and your use habits. And that information may be sold to advertisers who then keep that information on you. In our analysis, we found out that according to cybercrime and security article on Statista, the majority of adults in the United States are not confident about the way companies will deal in situations involving compromised user data. Overall, 79% of respondents during a June 2019 survey stated that they were not confident that companies would publicly admit mistakes and take responsibility when misusing data. Additionally, 75% of respondents doubted that companies would be held accountable by the government if such a situation arose. To add to our analysis, according to the results of a global survey on mobile users in early 2019, 58% of the respondents shared they were prepared to share data on what mobile apps and websites they use to avoid paying for online content, which is over 50%, one half, are okay with sharing data if it could be free. However, 29% of respondents would rather pay for content and not share their personal data. So they could at least hold on to their privacy. Because there is an ambiguity of what the shared data is for, most users prefer to choose convenience rather than delve into what their data may be used for, or simply decline to share their data because they really don't know when it's going to be used or how it's going to be used for. They assume just for marketing purposes, then it's okay, but you just really don't know the scope of it. With social media comes short attention spans and patience among younger users. These users want access fast. And if that means clicking a button that says their data will be shared to enable them quick access, they will do it without weighing the pros and cons. Like I said, all right, control. An investigation conducted by Wall Street Journal in 2010 revealed how intrusive smartphone apps can be as it relates to users' personal data. The journal discovered that a majority of the apps transmitted the phone's unique ID device, which is the unique serial number on your phone, to other companies without the user's awareness or consent. Since these companies are not being required to disclose how much of users' data they not only have access to, but share and misuse, it makes it challenging for users to fight the unknown because you really don't know the scope of what they're doing, or how much they're misusing it. And there are certain laws and policies that came out about this, such as HIPAA, that are in place in protection of patients, and the Gramm-Leach Act, which safeguards sensitive data of consumers and explains how it uses their data. There seems to be a lack of stricter laws in place for the use and misuse of users' data, especially without consent as it pertains to the use on the internet, apps, convenience services, like clear at airports, biometric screenings, and of course, all of the social media users who put information a ton on their daily and don't really seem to mind putting it out there because they think it's normal. These companies lack ethics in their use and access of consumers' data. Now, this is more getting into the challenges on cybercrime. The dark side of digitization is that it leads to the rapid increase in cybercrime. According to Statista, the largest data leakage as of April 2023 was the CAM4 data breach in March 2020, which exposed more than 10 billion data records. Such cyber attacks lead to identity theft issues, fraud, and several other criminal activities with stolen sensitive data. And another big one was the Yahoo data breach of 3,000 people, which ultimately ruined Yahoo's reputation as a source for emails and all that because nobody has trust in them anymore. Recommendations. Consumers' right to privacy is a basic right that needs to be respected, and people need to really recognize that they have that right and they should take advantage of it. IT companies for sure need to put more emphasis on it, and with services. But first, people need to recognize and come up to defend themselves on that regard. Convenience should not be used against consumers to share and misuse their data. Stricter laws should be enacted and forced against companies that share and misuse the personal data of consumers. They must be held accountable and made to face the consequences. Should they use or mishandle data without the consent of users, there should be regular audits conducted on these companies to not only ensure that they remain ethical in their handling of users' data, but to give users a sense of peace and trust that their information and privacy is being protected. Consumers also have to assume the responsibility of protecting themselves and their data. Convenience is great, but it should not take away from their privacy. And this goes to show the protective action taken by internet users worldwide as of February 2019. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.